What's up, YouTube? It's the superintendent of Quan Academy, and I am a Guardians fan. I'm also chronically online, so I see a lot of Guardians trade rumors. I've decided that I would like to compile a list of all of those trade rumors across Twitter, the radio, friends and family, and also articles from reputable sources, and make a tier list of every single trade that I have seen. There's a lot of names on this list, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet to not waste your time. Let's hop right into the video. Let's start things off with an unconventional one here. Heston Kjerstad. He's not your typical bad team, good player trade candidate. The Orioles are contenders, and he's more of a trade opportunity since they have an abundance of riches. I don't really see an avenue for the Guardians to make this trade since the Orioles are probably going to be wanting win now pieces. But this is a unique opportunity to add a top prospect. I don't see it happening, but I am intrigued. C tier. Next up, we have a star in a slump, Bo Bichette. He's under control for 2.5 more years, but rumor has it the Blue Jays are trying to ship him out. He's not having the best year, but this is an opportunity to buy low on a star shortstop. And he's got potential to be a fan favorite and get fans in the stadium. I like this trade a lot, and I'd be willing to give up some top prospects to get him. A tier. Next trade target is another Toronto Blue Jay, Yusei Kikuchi. Straight up, he's my favorite arm on the market this season. He's having a decent season, but he's only a rental, meaning you probably won't have to give up that much to get him. Hard-throwing lefty with good control. He just had a rough outing against the Guardians, but I don't care. Bring him in. S tier. Mason Miller is a star rookie on one of the most confusing franchises in baseball, the Oakland Athletics. And yes, I will be calling them the Oakland Athletics. I won't let the woke mob tell me what to do. Jokes aside, Mason Miller is a really good player, and it's going to take a lot to get him out of Oakland. The Guardians also don't really need a bullpen arm right now, so D tier. And here's our old friend Cal Quantrill. He's just one of my favorite Guardians over the recent years. He plays with a lot of energy, and he was pretty good here too. The front office had to make a tough roster decision last year and DFA'd him during a slump. But he's really rebounded this year in Colorado, looking like honestly one of the best Rockies pitchers I have ever seen. But I'm willing to admit I am biased. I would like Cal Quantrill back on the team. This is getting an A tier. Sean Manaea is a trade target I got from my TikTok comment section, and I don't hate it. He's definitely not the best pitcher available at this point of his career, and I don't even know if the Mets are going to even be selling after the whole Grimace incident. But if the Guards don't have to give up a lot to get him, I wouldn't be mad. C tier. Next up is some dude from the Mets named Francisco Lindor. Yeah, this ain't happening. F tier. Garrett Crochet is a starter that I'm pretty high on. He's a flame-throwing lefty that's excelled in the transition from the bullpen to the rotation this year. In a recent video, I went into depth on what I think of Crochet and many of the other pitchers on this list. So check that out if you want a more in-depth opinion on a lot of these pitchers. But if the Guardians can pull off a Crochet trade, I would be ecstatic. I just think it's going to be really tough to get him off of a division rival in the White Sox, especially when he's under control until 2027. For those reasons, he gets a B. And here's a Twitter rumor, Fernando Tatis Jr. Obviously, I would love to see him in a Guardians uniform. There's just no way in hell the Padres are trading this dude, unless they do. Maybe the dude on Twitter knew something that I don't. So just in case, I'm going to be safe and give it a D tier. Here's a Twitter rumor on the other end of the spectrum, Ryan Weathers. He's not good. And also, his dad demanded a trade from the Padres to the Marlins because he wasn't getting playing time. I don't want him on my team. F tier. Dayton native Taylor Ward is my next target. He's a right-handed hitting outfielder, and sure, the stats don't jump out at you. And honestly, the stats aren't better than Will Brennan. But he's crushing lefties. He would be a good platoon option with Brennan, a role that David Fry is filling right now. Taylor Ward would allow David Fry to move more around into different positions. Personally, I'm not giving up any top prospects for him, but he could be an addition similar to 2016 Brandon Guyer. And his xWOBA is in the 92nd percentile, meaning he's probably getting a little unlucky. Let's hope the Angels don't notice that. A tier. Jesus Luzardo is up next, one of the biggest name pitchers on the market this year. Although he isn't having the best year. He's under contract under 2027. He's definitely someone I would want to buy low on, but I don't think that's what's going to happen. So I think he's kind of risky. I'd stay away. D tier. Elias Diaz is the best catcher on the market this year. But catcher isn't really a position of need for the Guardians, in my opinion. I think the Guards would be better off saving those prospects and going after a different position. D tier. Trevor Williams, having a really good year. He's a rental. He probably won't cost that much. Could be a decent guy to add to the rotation. I kind of like it. B tier. Zach Eflin's got 1.5 years left on a pretty good contract. Unless the Rays are willing to eat some of that salary, I'm out. F tier. I mean, especially how the Guardians do business. And here is the face of MLB, the show 24, Vlad Guerrero Jr. Yes, he is a superstar. Yes, he hits the ball really well. but he is a first baseman, and you want Josh Naylor to be playing every day, so naturally one of them is going to have to DH. That limits lineup flexibility greatly, something that Stephen Vogt seems to value. The only real scenario I see the Guards landing Guerrero is if they trade Cal Manzardo to get him. With all things considered right now, I think I'd rather have Manzardo in his contract than Vlad in his 1.5 years of a pretty high ARB deal. But it would be nice to have two Guardians first basemen who own the Yankees. I'm kind of talking myself into this, but I'm still giving it a C, especially if you have to give up Manzardo and another top prospect. Okay, I saw one guy on Twitter say the Guardians should trade for Paul Skeens. How are they supposed to do that? There is not one single trade package you could put together that the Pirates would even consider for Paul Skeens. This is beyond F tier. I had to make a new tier for how bad this is. So I'm introducing tier, and this is reserved for the absolute worst trade ideas. If you saw Paul Skeens pop up and you said, oh, that's a good idea, I would trade for Paul Skeens, go sit in a corner, think about your life for a little bit, and then come back to the video. You just need a timeout. Former MVP Eric Fetty is up next, and I discussed him at length in my past video, but I like the vibes. He's a junk ball pitcher, and he's having his breakout season this year in the MLB. Obviously, he's not been an MLB MVP. KBO MVP, though. Not a free agent until 2026. I say go get him. He's been good this year. S tier. It's pretty obvious that the number one need for the Guardians in the trade market is starting pitching, and Braxton Garrett is a starting pitcher, but he's not a very good one. F tier. Luis Robert is a very talented player. He would be an everyday starter for the Guardians. But the White Sox want a return similar to what the Nationals got for Juan Soto. This grade isn't really for the idea of trading for Luis Robert. This is more a message to the White Sox. Hell no! Speaking of Juan Soto, I think the Yankees should try to move him before he walks on free agency and eventually comes to the Guardians anyways. I heard he was looking for houses in Strongsville during the offseason. I mean, that's just what I've heard. And after all, Soto starts with S. Do you know what else starts with S? S tier. Now we got a pitcher named after a department store that I don't even know exists anymore. JP Sears. I am a JP Sears truther. Stats don't do him justice. Every time I've seen him pitch, he's gotten like 11 strikeouts. I won't believe he's a bad pitcher unless I see it with my own two eyes. And honestly, I don't even know if I saw this trade rumor anywhere. I think I might have just willed it into existence. So for that reason, we got back-to-back S tiers. Oh yeah, and he's under control until 2029. And you know what? I actually changed my mind about Cal Quantrill. If JP Sears is S tier, so is Cal. Back-to-back-to-back S tiers. I make the rules here. This is my video. Ha-Seong Kim was someone mentioned by Zach Meisel in The Athletic. If the Padres feel like they're out of it, they may try to move Kim while he still has some value. And it seems like almost every player on the Padres roster plays shortstop, so he might be expendable anyways. And he would walk right into the Guardians' starting shortstop position, as Brian Rocchio is a great defender, but Ha-Seong Kim's even better, and he's a significantly better hitter. This would be a great move in my opinion. A tier. Rob Refsnyder is a right-handed hitting utility man who mashes lefties. He's pretty much giving you what Taylor Ward would, with more positional versatility, while you are losing some of the power. That being said, he will not cost as much as Taylor Ward would, especially because he would be a rental. While I would probably opt for Ward, this could be a sneaky good pickup if the Red Sox are out of it. A tier. Jack Flaherty is the premier starter rental on the market this year. If the Tigers look around and they're really out of it at the deadline, the Guardians could swoop in and get a stud who's having a real bounce back year this year. That's making it 3 straight A tiers. Now, in honor of 3 straight A tiers, let's talk about someone who probably should be in AAA, Gabriel Arias. Obviously, the Guards aren't trading for Arias, but I've seen a lot of people saying that he should be a key piece in a lot of deals and kind of using him as leverage in big deals. Newsflash, he has no trade value, actually. Honorary. Hell no! Jesus Sanchez is someone I thought could be a platoon right-handed center fielder because he might have the defensive chops for center field. But then I looked at his splits and he's batting 100 against lefties, so I'm out on him after that. F tier. University of Akron alum Chris Bassett. He's a decent pitcher, but he has such a big contract and he's 35. I just don't see the Blue Jays trading him unless they eat like a lot of his contract, and I don't really see that happening. While it could be a cool story, D tier. Randy Arozarena.
he could be the right-handed hitting center fielder. If Tyler Freeman and Gabriel Arraez can do it, Randy Arozarena could do it. He's not having a great year, but he is finding his stride as of late, and you already know what he does when it comes to postseason time. On top of that, the aura is off the chart. He's still in ARB until 2027, and the Rays are going to fleece any team that tries to trade for him, but I don't care. S tier. Edward Cabrera is not as good as he was in MLB The Show 21, but his underlying strikeout numbers are still pretty good. There's a chance that he's not even a free agent until 2030. It doesn't make any sense for the Marlins to trade him. F tier. Lane Thomas is someone I thought could be a right-handed hitting center fielder. He's got great speed, but he is bad at defense. He does have a really good arm, though, and a really good base runner, and he's a decent hitter, too. He definitely wouldn't be my favorite option as a right-handed hitting outfielder, but he definitely is an option still. C tier. Hell no! Pete Alonso's a good hitter, sure. I just don't think there's any way he's going to give you the type of value that is going to be worth giving up what you're going to have to give up to get him. F tier. Frankie Montas, pretty good starter. Reds aren't going to be selling. They're contending. F tier.
Michael Conforto is an upcoming free agent. He's a left-handed hitting outfielder. I'd straight up rather have Will Brennan. F tier. Brent Rooker's interesting because he is a right-handed hitter with some pop. He really doesn't offer you any positional versatility, but he would be a great bat to add to any lineup. I do believe there will be quite a lot of competition for him. For that reason, B tier. Brian De La Cruz is Lane Thomas, but slower. The stats are eerily similar. He does have 2 more years of control, but that's almost a non-factor here. I gave Lane a C, Brian's getting a D. Tarek Skubal is the Cy Young candidate, and he has 2.5 more years on his contract. I don't care how bad the Tigers are, this ain't happening. Hell no! Danny Jensen is an elite blocking catcher, but otherwise a poor defender and not a great hitter. As I stated before, I don't believe catcher's a priority position for the Guardians to add at, and even if they were to, Elias Diaz is my preferred choice. F tier. Jordan Alvarez is great. If you can get him, go get him. But the problem is you can't. He's locked in with the Astros until 2029. They're not trading him, so F tier. If I had things my way, Tommy Pham would have been a Guardian in spring training and started the year with the Guardians. The Guards went with Estevan Florial, and that experiment did not pan out. But if they couldn't have had Pham for free, I don't see them giving up prospects for him. D tier. There's no secret Willy Adames is a great player. But the Brewers are looking like the favorite in the NL Central. I don't see any way that they're trading him. Can't remember where I saw this one, but it was probably Twitter. F tier. Blake Snell has the worst contract in Major League Baseball. He's not getting traded, and I don't think anybody wants to take on that contract. Hell no! From the eye test, Luis Renfigo looks like a really good player, but his expected stats aren't great. He plays a lot of positions, but not really a direct upgrade for the Guardians. C tier. Another Met here in Luis Severino.
Like I said earlier, Grimace has changed a lot, and Severino is an important piece. But if they choose to trade him, he would be an important piece on the Guardians too. A tier.
Jazz Chisholm is a really fun player, but the problem is he's a lefty. If the Guards are going to get a bat, I really think it's going to be a righty. He'd probably be the starting center fielder, but would probably take a lot to get. So C tier. Miguel Andujar has found his 2018 form again, and while he is a righty, I just don't think this is sustainable.
Maybe for the right price you go get him, but right now, D tier.
Now here's a free agent signing I wouldn't mind, Zach Greinke. But are we sure that he just didn't retire and not tell anyone about it? Would see him on brand for me, C tier. And here's a free agent signing that was made during the process of me making this video, Matthew Boyd. I mean, he's likely just an innings eater depth piece in the bullpen, C tier. Tyler Anderson is having a great year this year, but an expected ERA of 4.7 leads me to believe that he might just be getting lucky. He's also not on a great contract, but there aren't a lot of arms on the market, and if the Guards can't get any of their other guys, I wouldn't be mad with them landing Tyler Anderson.
So this is very dependent on how other things go, but B tier.
I think I saw this one in an article somewhere.
But why would they want Paul DeJong? Like, yeah, he's hit 14 home runs, but I'm not sure anybody really wants him. I mean, I'm not trying to hate on the guy. He's an all-star, but he's not very good. F tier. I feel like Mets fans hate him, but Starling Marte's still kind of good. He's got a big contract, so that probably rules out the Guardians going after him. But it is only until the end of 2025. I don't know, I'd take him. B tier.
Tanner Houck's just under control for way too long for the Red Sox to think about trading him. I just don't see it happening, but I'm not too passionate about it not happening, so only an F tier. This video is getting to a boring point, but I promise you the last one is crazy. You're going to want to stick around for that.
Trevor Rogers, much like many of the other Marlins starting pitchers, is not very good, and for that reason, he's also getting an F tier.
Tyler O'Neill is one of my favorites for the right-handed outfielder spot. He's not as quick as he once was, but he still hits bombs.
Assuming he will be healthy enough to be traded at the deadline and the Red Sox are selling, I would love to have him on my team, A tier. Kyle Tucker, it's the same story as Jordan, except he has less years of control, so maybe it's a little bit more feasible that they trade him. But I personally think he would fit in with the Guardians so well. C tier. I'm being delusional, though. F tier.
Thank you for sticking around until this point of the video, but if you have, you're in for a treat because I saved the best for last. This might be the worst trade idea I have ever heard. And honestly, I would feel bad about making fun of these people for this opinion, but I honestly don't because they get paid to have sports opinions. And this opinion comes from 92.3 The Fan.
I can't remember exactly what show had this take, but a fan called in and said that the Guardians should sell high on Emmanuel Clase. Both hosts agreed with this, and they went on to say that they should trade him to the Marlins for multiple starting pitchers. Let's break down everything wrong with this trade idea. First things first, why would the Guardians as contenders trade away their best reliever? Secondly, why would the Marlins as a bottom feeder team want an elite reliever? You rarely see teams trade big leaguers for big leaguers. And I have never seen one of those trades go down between a competitor and a team that is rebuilding. The Marlins are going to want prospects. The Guardians want players to win now. This might be the biggest of the entire video. If you made it to the end of the video, you're a real one. Drop a like and drop a comment saying trade for Jackson Holliday so I know you made it to the end of the video. If you would like to see a video of me covering more of the trades that actually might happen out of all of these trades, let me know in the comments as well. I'll be back soon with another video. I'm going to make an outro.